Hello, America. Hello, Europe. Hello, Asia. Hello, Africa. Hello, South America. Hello, Canada. Hello, Mexico. Hello, the world. I am Albert Mora. This is the Albert J. Mora Show. This is episode 3, and the title of this show is Charlie Kirk, because today Charlie Kirk was shot and killed. This is a sad day, but it's a day where it's very important to me to keep promoting my Lovism movement. There are lots of isms, and my favorite one is my own Lovism movement. On days like today, I hope that it can help for us to stay on the Lovism movement. Now, I'm going to have 3 sections, basically. I'm going to go over Charlie Kirk's background. I'm going to go over some of the other unfortunate events that have happened in U.S. history. I think most of us or all of us are familiar with those. I'm going to talk about my reactions and my advocacy of Lovism, again, in this context. And then I'm going to introduce a character who was a star of my bedtime stories that I made spontaneously and enacted for my young children. When they were young children, I would make up a bedtime story for them. Silly Magilly was a star of those, and I'm bringing Silly Magilly back to life on a day like today when we're thinking about the precious value of life. So now I'll go into something I go into every single episode. We are human beings. We are the most precious thing on the most precious planet, an incredibly tiny little planet in a universe where it takes light 40 billion light years to cross. I love saying that. In all of that, we, so far as we know, are the greatest thing. So from our beginning to whenever we may expire, no matter how the universe ends up, and it probably will end up being just photons of light, we probably will have been the greatest thing, and you are one of those, and I love you. You are a human being, and I am here for all of us. Now, briefly about Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is very well known in the United States, but let's back up a little bit. He grew up near where I grew up. I grew up in East Chicago, Indiana, 40 minutes from the downtown Chicago. He grew up in Arlington Heights and Prospect Heights, Illinois, also around half an hour from downtown Chicago. He's a Bears fan like me. In fact, the last episode he did on his Charlie Kirk show, I believe, was about the Bears lost this last Monday, 2 days ago. All right, so we have that connection. Charlie Kirk, by any measure, was a remarkable person. When you look at what he achieved, and at what a young age, he was only 31 years old when he passed away today. And at age 18, he formed something called Turning Point USA. It was a conservative movement that he started. And he briefly went to Carper College in Palatine, Illinois, near where he grew up, and left school apparently and got into political activism. And boy, did he. He formed Turning Point USA, then Turning Point Action, then Turning Point Faith, then Turning Point Academy. And then he had this very famous Charlie Kirk show. And he also became such a widely known voice. He ended up having a connection to Trump, and he actually spent time around Trump after Trump won the election, spent time around Trump, brought his family near Trump, and spent time around Trump after Trump became president. And in the period after Trump became president, and he was making appointments, and probably before that, was influential in helping Trump decide who to appoint in certain positions. So this is a person who, at a young age, became politically active and has had a remarkable impact. Now, I'm in the middle and he's on the right. So anybody who's on the right and he's on the strong right doesn't believe all the same stuff I believe, doesn't advocate for all the same stuff I advocate. And there is that much more reason for me to be here for all of you who love him, all of you who care about him, all of you who follow him and were inspired by him. My condolences go out to you, because that's one of the important points is, this is my message of condolence. This is my message of love to all of you, even though we politically don't align. This is the example I'm trying to set, in contrast to those persons who use other means, right, to oppose, other means to make a political statement, rather than a loving means to make a political statement, even when it comes to somebody who I don't politically align with. And I'll give 3 quick examples of where we don't align. He was a COVID vaccine denier. Don't agree with you. COVID vaccine was a good thing. Don't feel that we needed to force everyone to take it, but that's different. I have no doubt. I have faith in vaccines. I know sometimes they fail mostly they save, and they have saved so many millions of lives, including maybe your own parents or grandparents. You are here, many of us, millions of us, because of vaccines. So please think twice when you look at taking a vaccine. Please consider the percentages. Conspiracy theorists, sorry, vaccines are great. There have been a few problems with them, but mostly they are a miracle. We don't agree on climate change. We all know it's getting hotter. It's getting hotter everywhere on planet Earth. It's known, scientists from all sides, no one's arguing this, will tell you that the average temperature on planet Earth across the whole globe has been higher for over 2 consecutive years every single day than it was the year before. So today, the average temperature on planet Earth is higher than it was a year before. Persons like Charlie Kirk didn't believe in that or pretended not to believe in that. Please, everyone, consider the importance of stopping carbon dioxide emissions. Consider the importance and value of finding ways to produce clean energy, including the fact that it's a sensationally great industry. I hope America will jump in it head first, feet first, arms first, and become the leader in clean energy production here and around the world, both technically and spiritually. Please join this very important movement. No matter where you are on the political spectrum, it's okay to be way on the right, but then also believe in global warming, right? This is big stuff. This is end of the world kind of stuff, right? End of life on earth as we know it theme. And so please don't take it lightly. Don't laugh at it. Don't mock it. Do your own homework and find out about it. And Charlie, you're up there. You're listening. You're an election denier. Either you really believe the 2020 election was stolen somehow, however you may think that was done, or you don't believe that, but you said that because you wanted to support Trump. I support good things that Trump does. I support good things that everyone does. I will not pretend that I believe the 2020 election was stolen. In fact, when Donald won the first election, he lost, what do we call it, the popular vote, but he won the Electoral College. And this time he won the popular vote over Kamala Harris, but got less than 50% of the total vote, got 49.5%. Now, quick message to Donald. Don't be ashamed of the fact you got 49.5% because you wish you had 100%. Brag that you got 49.5% because you won the election with 49.5%. No one else did. That's something to brag about. That's not anything to apologize for, nothing to be ashamed of. And if you said that, you wouldn't have to pretend that you had a landslide victory. And you could tell the left, hey, all those of you who didn't vote for me, because I didn't win a landslide, watch me do a good job. Please vote for the right the next time around. That's the way you do it, with straightforward honesty. You can do it, Donald. You can do it. Okay? Quick Lovism commercial. Amidst all this, I want to remind us, again, I'm a centrist. Charlie Kirk is on the right. Some of the names I'm going to name are on the left and right. My condolences to all of us, to us as a nation, to us as a species. Okay? There are 8 billion of us because the vast majority of the time, the vast majority of us do great things, but that doesn't mean we ignore when we aren't doing great things. That means we get inspired and we remembered we have done better. We have risen and risen and risen. We have nations. We have constitutions. We have societies. We have roads. We have technology. We have universities. We have movies. We have so much because we've risen so much. I'm wearing this shirt and talking to you through this miraculous internet, through that camera right there and this microphone down here, because we rise and we rise and we rise. Remember that. Again, but now is a moment for remembering that we can rise even better. So I'm going to remember some times when we did not rise even better so we can learn. Trump was shot at. Representative Melissa and Mark Hortman, her husband Mark Hortman, were killed in Minnesota this year. Senator John and Yvette Hoffman were shot in Minnesota this year. He and his wife, they survived, thank God. They were shot multiple times. She's okay. He's recovering still. Paul Pelosi was assaulted in San Francisco in 2022. Nancy Pelosi's husband, Representative Nancy Pelosi's husband, very well-known representative. She was the leader of the House, and she was the leader of the Democratic caucus. Representative Steve Scalise shot in Louisiana in 2017. Representative Gabby Giffords shot in 2011 in Arizona. Go to a few celebrities that broke my heart when they got shot. Phil Hartman, actor from Saturday Night Live, was killed in 1998. Marvin Gaye was killed tragically by his own father. In 1984, John Lennon, 1980, and Malcolm X, 1965. I don't align with Malcolm X's violent sentiments, but I do understand. I do align with the spirit of his putting in front of the world how people have suffered. And to me, he symbolizes suffering by all of us, not just by Africans in America. And then two tragedies in 1968, RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King. And then in 1963, President John Kennedy. One of my earliest memories in life was when President Kennedy had passed away, had been assassinated. I turned the TV on. I've told this story before. And I saw them marching on the streets of Washington, and Jackie Kennedy leading the march. And they had the carriage pulled with the horses, the body being pulled in the carriage. Only time in my life I've ever seen my parents cry. I think also of those persons suffering violence now in Ukraine, in Gaza, when the Jews were attacked, right, by Hamas. And so where I'm going with this is, when I see what happened to Charlie Kirk, when I see what happened to John at JFK, I think of all of us, and I encourage us not to get discouraged, to remember all of the great things that the vast majority of us do, but also to try to change our culture. We all have the opportunity and the ability to counter what happened today and to extend love, to extend peace, caring to those around us. If somebody doesn't agree with you politically, please try to imagine that you were them. Try to understand that you might feel the way they feel if you had grown up the way they grew up. And now I introduce to you Silly Magilly, the star of my children's series of bedtime stories that I told them for years. And the name of this chapter is Peace. And here is the peace chapter of Silly Magilly. One morning, Silly Magilly's parents went into the kitchen and started trembling like they always did, because they never knew what Silly was going to do. His bedroom was up on the second floor, and they could hear him making a racket already, like he always was at all hours of day and night. And all they could hear was a little bit of him making his noises that he did when he was doing these incredible projects. It was a little bit of and you never knew what sounds he might make. It might be a gun firing. It might be a animal roaring. It could be anything. You never knew what sounds came out of his room or where they came from, and they never knew what was going to happen that day. And sure enough, the door from his bedroom comes down. These stairs come down to the hallway, and down he comes, making noise as usual in the morning. And he says, "Me want, me want." And they knew what he was going to do. He was going to tell them what to do for the day. And they must do it. If they didn't do it, they were in trouble. And no one, I mean nobody in the world, not even the president, not even the head of United Nations, everyone knew Silly. And no one wanted to upset Silly Magilly, because then the silliness would take over the world. And nobody could take that. So he started giving his mom and dad instructions. Tell the police and the fire department and all the schools to come to my house, right here, our house. They come to the front lawn. Everybody in town, come to the front lawn tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. He turns around and he walks like a robot right back up the stairs, and the stairs come back up, and that's it. And the parents jump on the phone and they go talk to all the neighbors, and they tell the sheriff and they tell the police and the fire department. We all have to be in the front lawn at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So he comes back down the stairs. Have chairs for everybody and have snacks for everybody, especially the kids. They get to have all the ice cream they want. Goes back up the stairs. The parents start working on it, and they hear the craziest noises. They hear banging. They hear sawing. They hear things being screwed and unscrewed. They hear drills. They hear hammering. And then they hear a big hole being built in the roof of the house. And then they hear big holes being built in the back of the house, going down under the ground. And they're used to it. They're not surprised by it, because this stuff happens all the time around Silly. So the day goes on. Silly makes a racket all day. Finally, at nighttime, he slows down. He quiets down a little bit, and mom and dad get a little bit of sleep. And then at 6 in the morning, mom and dad wake up again, and they got to run out and get everything ready in the yard, because Silly's up and he's at it. And so then 8 o'clock comes. Everyone's out there on the lawn. Fire department, police, local army. What do we call them? Guards, National Guards, all the kids in all the schools in town, high school, grade school, preschool, moms have kids in carriages. What is Silly up to now? At 8 o'clock, everything gets really quiet. Tick, tick, tick. It's 8 o'clock. And all of a sudden, the house starts trembling. And then a beautiful couple of doors open up. And then the tip of a missile starts appearing. And it keeps coming out of the hole. And it gets taller, 10 feet, 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, 500 feet. This massive missile, the house starts getting destroyed. It comes out of the ground. It's on a launch pad. And who's in the window up there as the pilot? Well, of course, it's Silly. A big door opens. A big ramp comes out of the rocket ship. Silly Magilly's on a microphone, on a speaker, and he goes, "All children, enter the space rocket." The kids are ecstatic. No adults allowed. Only the kids are allowed to go in. The kids go up the ramp, and it is a playground in there. It's magical. Even though it is vertical, when they get in there, it is horizontal. They get in their seats, and they have screens everywhere. They've got ice cream being served by machinery. Any drink they can think of gets served to them. They get magic juice served to them. This is the greatest party they've ever had. The place is all lit up. And way out there in front, they can see Silly in the pilot's seat. And he's sending messages. "It's going to be a beautiful day. Are you ready? Strap in your seatbelts." Seatbelts all get strapped in. Everybody's ready. Outside, the adults are watching. Rocket starts to tremble. Slowly, it starts to lift off. But this rocket has no flame. It's magic. It works on anti-gravity, something Silly Magilly must have come up with because he's the smartest scientist on planet Earth. And they start shooting off very gradually, and they're going outer space. And now he starts to transmit from TV. People watch on TV sets all over the world, and they see what's going on in the spaceship. The spaceship is a party. They're going around Earth all day. The games don't stop. Football games, baseball games, tennis games, soccer games, any kind of game you can think of, chess games. The kids are having a great party. And then Silly announces, we're going to the moon. So the rocket ship is on TV. Everybody sees it, and it's heading for the moon. And it goes to the moon, and it lands on the moon, and all the kids get out in their magic spacesuits. And Silly says, "Everybody look back at planet Earth." And the whole time that they were heading up toward the moon, there were instructions being beeped to every adult human on planet Earth. And Silly Magilly tells the kids, "Okay, turn around, look at planet Earth." And when they look at planet Earth, what do they see? Silly says, "For the first time ever in American history, we have, and the first time in human history, we have." And then they all look, and they see the adults on planet Earth have all lined up. They're all holding up a light. And they have created a sign that goes all around planet Earth. And the sign is spinning around planet Earth. They are magically spinning around planet Earth. And the sign says peace. And it keeps spinning on. And it keeps spinning Earth. Silly Magilly was the first human being who created peace on Earth.